We're getting more reports coming in about that, the aftermath of yesterday's attack on a train traveling between the Nigerian capital Abuja and the northern city of Kaduna. We will be bringing you details of that in the course of the rest of this program, so stay with us. Now, Ukrainian forces have continued to regain some areas occupied by Russian troops, including the Kyiv suburb of Irpin. There were tearful scenes as one elderly woman was reunited with her son and daughter after escaping from Irpin. Most people have already fled the once quiet suburban town on the strategic northwestern entrance to Kyiv, leaving mainly the elderly and the sick to endure nearly a month of Russian bombardment.
I just pray to God for salvation. I pray every day for the soldiers who defend us. Let them have courage, God. Let them have strength.
We were hoping it won't get so bad. I hoped, but when the airplanes started the bombardment, it was just flying over the building dropping bombs, we moved out.
We saw those cars who tried to get out on their own. They were crushed by tanks, the cars with people inside.
Thanks God. It was important that I didn't cry in front of him, her 10-year-old son, Misha Romanenko, then he holds up. So we stayed together all this time.
Well, a short time ago, I spoke to Olga Tarnovska, a languages teacher who lives in the outskirts of Kyiv. Just over a month into the war, how are things for her in Ukraine?
Hello, Charles. Thank you. Yes, it is already more than a month because we count every day of this war. So it's like 33 days. I shall tell you that in my region, it's on the north of Kyiv. It's a bit quieter. We have less shelling. We hear less artillery, but we still hear the anti-aerial machines working because we still have some attacks here, and some missiles have been shot here at the Kyiv region. But basically, we have liberated Irpin city. It's one of the most devastated cities by Russian troops, and it's a small victory for us. It was yesterday. So definitely Putin has decided to change his strategy, at least the northern part of Ukraine.
Right, and talking about the change of strategy, we've heard the Russians saying that they've drastically reduced, or they're in the process of reducing combat operations in the Kyiv and Chernihiv areas. Are you seeing and feeling any evidence of that on the ground where you are in Ukraine?
Yes, but we can see it, but not only because they are reducing, that because they don't have possibility to do it in another way. You know, they just can do shelling and bombing with missiles. But the infantry or convoys, they are quite helpless here because they are actually blocked and they just can't advance. So Ukrainian army just moving them outside towards the Belarusian border. So Russia presents it like a change of strategy, but actually it's not. It's just a small victory of Ukrainian army.
Right, and at this stage of the conflict, you were saying that you were counting it daily. It's now day 33. I expect you and many other Ukrainians want to see a real breakthrough. I mean, we've just seen talks concluding in Turkey. What do you make of that latest round of talks?
Well, I think I'm not very confident of these talks because there is no the high level of participants at this talk, at least by Russian side. You know, they just send some officials, unknown people who just try to negotiate something. Well, they could be useful because they just prepare further talks and further negotiation, but they are not definite, absolutely. They try to establish some kind of positioning. Well, they present, we want this, and they say, we want that. At least Russians start to hear, to listen to our claims. Well, but because before they were just imposing. So they definitely understand that this war won't be so easy. It will be a long-term process, and they are actually losing a lot. The victory is not very clear, not for us, nor for them.
And what are you trying to do personally, Olga, in the context of this war in your country? Because I'm presuming that you had a chance at some point to escape and you didn't.
Well, I have a chance to escape at the very beginning. I was offered a diplomatic way to go outside in the first 3 hours. But I decided to remain, to stay in my country, and to stay for my country, because I think that my war is an information war, because Russian propaganda is all over the world. It's overspread. They are making fake news. They are distorting all information, and it's terrible. You know, they have a department of fake news within the Ministry of Defense. Yesterday we have a leakage of anonymous hackers, and it's terrible because they just make a totally false picture of this war. So I am trying to fight them. I try to do it in all media I can, because I speak Spanish and Portuguese, so I try to work it out in Spanish-speaking countries and in Brazil as well. And as well, and you invite me, and I thank you for this possibility to also to spread this information in other continents.
Well, I mean, we're very happy to talk with you and very glad that you can make out the time to talk with us. So how do you see Ukraine's future? Obviously, there's a difference between what you would like to see happen and the reality of what is likely to happen, and briefly.
Yeah. Well, of course, I want my victory now, and I want my people from all these shelled areas like Mariupol to be out of the city. I want to cease fire, but of course we can't. We can't rely on this because we can't trust Putin and we can't trust Russia. They are just not. They just. Behaving like not in absolutely dishonest way in Ukraine, and terrible. So I think it will be a long-lasting war, unfortunately, because we don't feel support from the NATO, from Europe at this extent we were expecting in the very beginning. Well, they would give us some support. We will propose some kind of defense establishment, like union of other countries, like maybe France, England, Great Britain, and United States, to Turkey as well, to guarantee our security. But I'm not very optimistic about this. I think that we have to fight. Right. We have to show Putin that he can't occupy our country and he can't stay here. So that will be our victory, our force, and maybe military support as big as it can be in this situation.
Olga, I want to thank you very much indeed for talking to us, and do stay safe. Olga Tarnovska lives just about 10 kilometers north of the Ukrainian capital, Kyiv, and she joined me from there.